Hey, it's Brenda Meller with Meller Marketing, joining you for another edition of Social Media Pie. And guess what? This is a Friday edition of Social Media Pie. This was not scheduled, but I'm a user of StreamYard, and StreamYard recently sent all of us users notifications that you can now have up to 10 people in a LinkedIn Live session. So I said, hey, if I get a new feature, I'm going to use it. And I thought about what would make up an interesting group if I were to have 10 people joining me on a LinkedIn Live. And guys, I've been doing, for the past couple months now, we've been doing a series of job seeker webinars on LinkedIn for job seekers. And I offer it free to anybody who's in career transition. And we talk about how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, how to search for and invite people to connect with you on LinkedIn, how to search for jobs. And then we talk about network engagement and posting strategy. And then every Friday, we do a job seeker VIP chat as well. And I said, hey, I'm going to invite some of my VIPs to come and join me today. And I actually have 10 seats in this session. And I actually want to see if there is another job seeker that might like to join us. So I'm going to go onto LinkedIn right now just to see if any of the job seekers that are in my job seeker group, if you would like to join, let me know. I do have sent 10 spaces and I have one that is still available. I'd love to include you in. I had a lot of responses this morning in the group for folks that said they were interested. And I sent out invites to 9 others, myself included, plus 9 others, and I still have one space. So if you want to drop a message in chat, if you want to join us, because I actually want to try to use StreamYard with 10 people because they're giving me the opportunity for 10. All right, so this is how it's going to work today. First, I just want to welcome anyone who is watching, whether you're watching on Facebook Live or on LinkedIn Live. I would love it if you could please comment below. Let us know where in the world you're watching from. I'm in Metro Detroit in Michigan in the USA. I'm working out of my home office. Maybe you're in another part of Michigan in your living room or bedroom or backyard. Maybe you're in another state in the United States or another country in the world, but please drop us a comment below and let us know where you're watching from. When you do so, it does 2 amazing things. One is all of the folks that are joining on my session here today will see you, that you're watching and that you're supporting them. And when you're a job seeker in career transition, and especially in career transition in a time of COVID, when the world is really in a different place, it really is nice to see that support. So I'd love to see your comments if you could leave those in the comment field below. And I'm just trying to click through the navigation to see how this works with 10 people, but I'm going to drop your comments up on screen. And it looks like it's going to cover some of our faces, unfortunately. So I'm going to try to figure out how to, you'll have to look up, who is it on the bottom? Is it Julie and Ebba said, you'll have to look up a little bit. So I'll try to keep the comments. When we get our 10th person, I'm curious if this will correct the issue that's in here. So I see a couple of fellow job seekers. Shreya was on the call as well. We have Jacqueline joining us, Laura. So I'm going to pop their comments up on screen as we go throughout. Robert Smith is one of the folks who said he was going to join us, and he said he did not get the link. So Robert, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to message you right now on LinkedIn, Robert. This is like live and in action. Robert, you're going to get a link from me. Here we go. I'm going to message it to you in your LinkedIn right now. This is a private link. I don't want the world to join our StreamYard. It's private only for you, Robert. So go ahead and click on that link and we will invite you to come along with us. So again, if you're just watching us, just joining us right now, we're live on LinkedIn, live on Facebook. I'm featuring some VIP job seekers in my network. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go around the room here and I'm going to ask each of these amazing individuals to introduce themselves. So we're going to start with, did the names go off on here? Let me see if I can get your names to come back on here again. Here we go. All right, David Palazuski. David, if you could unmute yourself and introduce yourself to the group.
Hi, my name is Dave Palashevsky, and I am a finance professional looking for a position in internal audit in the Southeast Michigan area.
Awesome. I apologize for mispronouncing your last name. I'm a Polish maiden name as well. Palashevsky? Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay,
thank you very much.
Second or third time is a charm, right, David?
Absolutely, yes.
Well,
we've done this a couple times. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, great. It is so great to have you in, and I've seen your face on so many of the sessions so far, and have great hopes for you that you'll be landing a new position in the future. But part of the reason I brought David and the others on today is so they can tell you a little bit about their background. If you are aware of any positions that meet their qualifications, drop a comment below, message them on LinkedIn, invite them to connect if you could. And I'm going to drop their LinkedIn URLs up on screen here as well. So what I'm going to do is, as they're doing their introductions, I'm going to pop them up on screen for you guys. So if you would like to connect with David, there's David's LinkedIn URL up on screen here, and feel free to reach out and connect with him. Okay, I'm going to try to drop this into chat as well at the same time, so that if you're watching on LinkedIn, it makes it a little bit easier. You can just click on that link to go to their profiles. All right, thanks, David. We'll hear from you a little bit more again, but let's move on now to Greg Freeman. Greg, how are you doing today?
Good. Hi, Brenda.
Good.
My name is Greg Freeman. I'm from the Twin Cities, Minnesota area, and I have for the last more than 25 years owned a business in the shared office facility business, and that business changed when there was a generational transfer, and now I am looking for an operations role, small, medium business in real estate, technology, or telecom.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us here, Greg. And I just popped Greg's URL up on screen. I also put it in the comments on LinkedIn. So if you're watching this live on LinkedIn right now, you should be able to visit Greg's profile. So if you're aware of an opportunity that matches Greg's background, please definitely reach out. And even if you don't, please reach out and connect with Greg, and that can help him along in his job search. All right, we're going to move along. Let's see. I did not see the other gentleman joining us yet. So we're going to give him another minute or so here. We're going to keep moving though. We're going to go on next to Tiff Gold. So Tiff, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. I'm great to join this chat and lovely webinars beforehand, Brenda, so thank you for that.
Absolutely.
I'm joining from overcast London, and I am currently seeking a new role. My past experience is in luxury hospitality, so something customer-faced. I was in training, learning and development, so either training, otherwise even venturing into a new kind of realm of experiences, but looking to have something customer engaging in London,
In London.
Kingdom.
And I know
London.
you don't feel like you have an accent. I feel like you have a lovely accent. And when she says she wants to work in hospitality, I mean, she's got such a lovely accent to go along with that. So it's so nice to have you in the session, and encourage you guys. I put Jess's, is this the right one? Did I have the right URL at the bottom there? Tiffany Gold, is that right?
That's it exactly, okay, Brenda, sure thank you.
All right, so yeah, definitely.
And thank you for your great,
go ahead.
Thank you for your great webinars. They've been very inspiring so far, so I continue to watch them.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure having you. And a bit of this is a test for me right now in the technology, because of the fact that I've never had, 9, and we're going to try to get up to 10 people in the session here today. But, feel free to reach out to Tiff if you have, sending me only to the site, not your broadcast. Yes, click that link. Robert's trying to get in right now. So I'm trying to troubleshoot, multitasking behind the scenes in the background here and trying to get him on. But definitely reach out to Tiff if you are aware of any opportunities, and feel free to connect with her as well. All right, Tiff, we'll talk a little bit more later, but I'll have you put yourself on mute. And we're now going to move on to Emily. Emily, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Emily Johnson, and currently I'm in the greater Toledo area of Ohio, but I want to get back to my home state of Michigan. And my background has been in customer service, managing call centers for mental health and substance abuse for the state of Michigan. And my passion kind of is customer service, because I believe that's where any good business starts from, is having good frontline staff and able to problem solve quickly, efficiently, and clearly and speak. And to kind of just bring the joy back into people answering the phone and talking to somebody, knowing that they can get on the right path of the information that they need.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Emily. I'm going to drop her LinkedIn profile in the screen grab here, and then I'm also going to go into my stream on LinkedIn and drop it in the comments in there as well.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining. I'm going to give just a second here. Actually, I will turn it over to the next person while we're doing this. So Vicki, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Vicki?
Hi, Brenda. Thank you so much for these sessions. I've just loved actually going to any of your sessions and learning something new every day. I am in the customer success and project management world, acting as a voice of the customer in between IT and business and clients, and making sure that the customer gets what they want and that they see the value behind either the software or the technology that is being supplied to them. I'm looking in the greater Detroit metropolitan area and looking across different industries that need a customer success or a voice of the customer between their internal and external customers.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining, Vicki. And I could just tell you've got such a positive orientation. Your personality just exudes positivity, and really appreciating you being on the call today. And I would encourage anyone, if you're aware of opportunities that match Vicki's expertise and background, please send them her way, and feel free to invite her to connect on LinkedIn. I'm dropping all of their URLs in the comments as well as on screen to make it easy for you guys to do so. So thank you, Vicki. And we'll talk a little bit more with you today as well.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you. We'll keep you on mute. Julie Ford, you're next on The Price is Right. You guys remember that game show? They're like, come on down to contestants row. Julie, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell people what you're looking for. Oh, I cannot hear you, Julie. Oh, no. Make sure your sound is turned on. I see it's unmuted. Let's see. Let's see if there's a way. I don't know if there's a way I can give a dial in. I am going to, let's see, email you the instructions, Julie, and it does have a dial-in. So I'm going to try to give you a dial-in option in here. Actually, I'm only seeing a link. It doesn't give me, unfortunately, a phone number that you can dial into. So let's see how we can do this. Anyone else on StreamYard know how to give a workaround for the volume? Let me know. Message in comments right now on LinkedIn. I am not seeing another way, Julie, other than you could try to leave and then come back in again. Make sure that your sound is not muted on your computer. If you have like a headset or anything plugged in, try to unplug it and replug it in. Sometimes that helps. Like sometimes I have my little dongle device that I have plugged in, but I don't have my earphones or my microphone plugged in, and that won't allow me to talk. So we're going to keep going for now, Julie. I'll try to troubleshoot this. But in the meantime, Julie, if you could just message into the private chat, tell people what you're looking for, and I'll pull it into the comments up on screen. Okay. So we'll work around because we pivot. That's what we do. You know, I like to kind of just work with what we have, and we'll just kind of keep going along here. All right. Jessica Baker. Jessica, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Brenda. How are you? Hopefully you can hear me okay.
Yep, we can hear you loud and clear. Tell us a little bit about what you're looking for.
Oh, terrific. Thank you. So I'm in the greater Boston area, just south of Boston, about 12 miles. So depending on whatever traffic day there is, we can zip right in or might be a little bit longer. So I'm in the HR profession. I'm looking for, a senior HR leader opportunity. I've led and managed several different functions across HR. So through COVID, I think the idea is you have to be flexible and open and adaptable. And so I think I'm open to the kind of opportunity that I take on next. So I appreciate your time to be able to participate in this chat session. And I also just want to give you a shout out because I've thoroughly enjoyed your, sessions that you've done and kind of what you're doing to give back to the community that is out there job seeking. So thank you for that.
Well, my pleasure. And thank you so much, Jessica, for joining in. And this was kind of like a very impromptu thing, guys. We literally had the Job Seeker VIP group like just beforehand. And I announced within the group I was going to go on live, and I said, who wants to join? And I had a bunch of people kind of raise their hand. And Jessica and all the others on the session were the first to respond. And I think it can be a little nerve-wracking, right, going on a live session. But they were all like brave enough to say, hey, let's join the session. So thank you, Jessica, and we'll continue the conversation if you could mute yourself for now as we go on to the next person. All right, Julie, any luck? Nope, not yet. Okay, I can see Julie talking, but we're not hearing. So we're going to move on to Emily, if that's okay. Emily, do you want to introduce yourself to the group? Oh, I'm seeing Emily.
I already did.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? The order changed. I'm sorry. The order changed as Robert came in. I apologize. Let's go.
I think Jessica would be next. I think because we just did Julie, so I think Jessica.
We just did Jessica.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's hard, isn't it? Because it's like this grid pattern of videos that are coming in. So let's go to Abosetti, and then we'll go to Robert to finish us off. So Abosetti, do you want to unmute yourself and introduce yourself? Tell people what you're looking for.
Yeah, I'm Abosetti. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you.
Okay. I am Abosetti from Abuja, Nigeria. My experience has been in executive assistance and business service management. I see to people's success in the businesses, and I ensure that at least every customers are happy whenever they come in purchase of our business, a purchase in our organization. So I'm looking for an opportunity as an executive assistant,
Okay.
and a customer service position. It can be a remote opportunity. I will appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you, Aboseti, for joining us here today. So we're international. Aboseti is joining us from Nigeria here today, and we have so many great job seekers that have been joining the webinar series and coming into the Friday session from around the world, really. Aboseti, what time of day is it where you're at?
It's actually 4 p.m. right now.
Okay, so you're at the end of the day. We're kind of, I'm earlier in the day. I'm at 11:30 here,
Yes.
but so nice to have you join us. So I'm glad that you're
Thank
here.
you.
Yeah, put yourself back on mute if you could. And then Robert, we're going to have you, last but not least, Robert, if you would like to introduce yourself. I'm glad you were able to come in here.
Yeah, thanks very much for your patience. I appreciate it. Anyway, I made it.
You made it.
I'm not technically challenged, believe me. Anyway, my name is Robert Smith. I do live in the southeastern Michigan area. I live in Pinckney, Michigan right now. I've spent 20 years in a multi-unit retail management type world in the independent retail hardware business, essentially, but district manager type roles. I'm really looking to, I'd like a national account type position, key account management, sales management type role. I truly want to transition out of the retail management type business. I want to use my business acumen, financial business skills to really kind of help maybe a small company. And what I say privately to my career coaches and people that I work with, not in interviews, is I'm really looking to end my career strongly, and that's what I want. And it's very hard with the snow on the top of my head. I think to get noticed, interviews have not been a problem pre-COVID. But the last 2 months, it's just been a desert for me. I've ghosted on a constant basis, and it's just frustrating because I don't want to settle and go back into the world I left because I have so much more to offer. But just getting that message to companies to have the courage to not only hire purple squirrels.
Right.
So that's who I am.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you're here with us today, Robert, and I hope that message reaches somebody who might be looking for someone with those exact qualifications and opportunities. And I'll remind you guys, I've been throwing the LinkedIn URLs up on screen as we're going, and I would just encourage you, if you're aware of any opportunities for any of these individuals, please message them on LinkedIn. Please comment on their URLs. I'm dropping in the comments right now, and feel free to reach out to them and help to pay it forward. So, Robert, I'll have you put yourself back on mute. I think you're muted. Julie, let's see. Can we hear you, Julie?
I just tried.
Yes! Yay! We can hear Julie. Yay!
I'm sorry. I'm getting a new microphone. Thank goodness. It's coming Monday.
There you go. All right, Julie, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us what you're looking for, if you could.
Okay. Well, I'm Julie Ford, and yes, I am looking for in HR. And I'm looking actually for like human resource generalist, recruiting coordinator, human resource administrator. Try to keep it in the Detroit metro area, of course, for location-wise.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for introducing yourself. I'm going to throw Julie's. I'm trying to go as fast as I can loading the banners here, but I'm going to throw Julie's up on screen here for you guys. And I've also been adding these into the comments that are going on LinkedIn. So if you're watching on LinkedIn, making it a little bit easier for you guys if you'd like to connect with any of these individuals. All right, so now we're going to kind of move into some Q&A from the group. And what I'll have you guys do, you're all muted right now. So just to keep the background noise down, I'll just have you raise your hand if you'd like to answer the question, and then I'll call on you as in the order the hands go up. So you're all job seekers during COVID right now, which is a very challenging market to be in. But I know that you've all been staying very, very active. I know this because you're coming into my webinars, you're coming into the group discussion. I feel like I know so many of you because I'm seeing you really being active out there. So what advice do you have for other job seekers during COVID? You know, during the crazy climate we're in right now, what advice do you have? So we'll go Vicki, and then Jessica. So Vicki, Jessica, and then Greg.
Hi, I would say be active on LinkedIn, connecting with people, asking them what you can do for them, because it's a two-way street. This week, I actually did a great hour-long session with a lady, Joanne Bartley Hillman out of New York. And we had a great time learning about each other and seeing different connections that we could make for each other. So be an advocate of others, as well as trying to just connect to be connecting.
Awesome. Great piece of advice, Vicki. And yeah, definitely staying connected in today's environment and even beyond is very, very important. Thank you for sharing that. Jessica, did you have some advice you wanted to share as well?
I did. So thank you. I think for sure one is to let your network know that you're looking for a new opportunity and that you're in the market. I think, you know, just even the open to work banner made such a difference on my network and knowing that I was open and available to new opportunities. And I've had many connections made available in different networking conversations that have come up since then. Mm-hmm. I think too, right, leverage the power of time that we have. So you're out of work, but what can you be doing maybe that you couldn't do while you were working? So for example, for me, I'm president of our local music boosters. And so I don't always have a lot of time to invest in that volunteer work, but now I have an abundance of time that I've also used to leverage putting into some work into, you know, that community effort as well, which I think also too brings more connections and you know, is fruitful and able to keep yourself productive during this time. So I think that's important also for your mental health and keeping things moving.
That's awesome. Do you play an instrument, or did you used to play an instrument? I'm curious.
I do actually, yeah. So I do currently play the flute. I did play the flute growing up. So and both my kids are very active in the music program in our town, and so it's been just such a gift and an honor to be able to kind of give back and be able to keep it growing. It's a tough time for schools these days, and to be able to still try to promote music in our schools and get additional funding and keep it alive for kids too, while they're also going through the, you know, the challenging times with COVID. Yeah, their musical performance have gone virtual, which has been just phenomenal to be able to watch. So it's a good activity to stay involved in.
I saw a Zoom video not too long ago, and it was like a bunch of folks playing their instruments, and seeing it on Zoom was really, it was kind of a magical thing, you know, seeing everybody synchronizing. And it's hard when you're on video because there's a little bit of a delay, so you got to kind of pick up on the timing elements of it. But it was really amazing to see this whole orchestra in a Zoom call and sing for you.
Yeah, it's a whole new skill that they're also learning too, right? A lot. My daughter's going to be a senior next year, so but through the high school, being able to participate and perform individually, learning the technology themselves. Of course, they're very technology what is the word? Savvy. So, but you know, still a learning curve for them and the teachers. But it's been great to see.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Jessica. I appreciate it. And if you had your flute handy, I'd say you should play a song for us on the outro here today. I won't put you on the spot though.
Yeah, no, but thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, Greg, did you have some advice that you'd like to share as well?
Well, just to follow up on Jessica, one of my friends actually been in bands for a long time, and he and his bandmates all did this. You know, one in Phoenix, one in Minneapolis, one in a different city, and all jammed over Zoom. It was amazing.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, my advice that's the tip that I have for people is just to maintain a positive attitude. It's so easy to sink into this woe is me thinking. And as part of our group with Brenda, we always are getting positive reinforcement. We have our weekly, we have our little weekly.
I call it our VIP chat, right? I'm starting to call it office hours now instead, but I was calling it the job seeker VIP chat because you guys are very important people to me. And you know, I love the fact that you're staying active while you're in job search. You're not just staying at home waiting for the email to come that says you're hired, you know, or that unemployment check. You're actually getting out there and you're keeping active and you're building your network. Greg, you've been one of the people, I think you've been on just about every single Friday session, haven't you?
Just about, yeah. Friday is the day my part-time job is not on Friday, so I can usually be on the call Friday.
Oh.
But I like our weekly affirmation.
Yeah. Tell people about the weekly affirmation if they're not familiar with it. What is that all about? What does it mean to you?
As part of your community, we all are dealing with the fact that using LinkedIn keeps us ahead of where the average person is in their job search. So we all raise our hands, and as silly as it seems, or as sometimes you will make us do it twice.
Because you guys don't say it with conviction. I have people like raise their hand, and I say it doesn't matter which hand because it's not legal, but I'll have them say this is temporary. And I'll say I am awesome, and then I'll point at the screen, and people will say I am awesome, and I'm like, I do not believe that at all. Like, you got to say it with conviction, right? And we do it. And I found, like, in the beginning, I had everybody muted saying it, and now we do it unmuted, and you can hear everybody's voices, and you can hear the smiles people, as they're saying these mantras out loud.
And then the other thing is just to find a community view. I mean, your community is fantastic. Then the job clubs I went to before COVID are now all meeting on Zoom. Catherine Byers-Breed is doing twice a week now instead of 5 days a week, but about the new world of work. The group that had speakers is now having speakers on Zoom. So and then I get out at least 5 times a week and walk for an hour and just keep my spirits up that way.
That's good. And how's the weather been by you lately? Has it been like super, super sticky hot, or is it?
It's been hot and sticky. It's been awful.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's going to cool off this weekend.
Okay.
The rain is going to come through and drop the humidity finally.
That's nice. I mean, it's nice to have. And you said Minnesota, right?
Right, I'm in the Twin Cities, yeah.
Yeah, so you guys have the Midwest winters that we have here in Michigan as well, and it's just there's that time in January where your hands are just so bitterly cold, and you go outside, it's like end of January, beginning of February, and you like your breath, like you can't even breathe because it's so cold outside. And we have snow and ice skating and sledding and skiing and all that, but there's a certain time in those winters where it's like you can't even stand to be outside because it's so cold, and now we're in the time of summer where it's like you got to be in a shaded area to be outside. But I'll take the summer over winter every day. I don't know about you, but
same.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Greg. And I saw in the comments Robert had added into the private chat some of his advice. Robert, do you want to? I think you're unmuted right now. If not, do you want to unmute yourself and share your advice for fellow job seekers?
Are you talking about my mental health comment?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I agree. It was kind of dovetailing on, I can't remember which one, I apologize. But I find that to be very, very important, although I'm in a good position in my job search, but I feel mentally, I lose that positive approach and that positive feeling about myself. So, I think, staying busy, I've been volunteering and giving more of my time, and that I was never able to do before, although I'm a, big advocate of volunteering and giving back and servant leadership, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I just found that when I started doing this, it helped with that mental health and being honest with myself and to take care of myself, speaking with my wife or my friends or my career coaches or mentors or wherever they're at in my life to bring me back that, this is, it isn't, something good is around the corner, and the corner might be 6 months, the corner might be 6 weeks, and it might be 6 hours. I don't know yet, but I've just found for me, that's been very, very important.
Yeah, it's so important, and positivity and surrounding yourself with positive people. It is, your mental health and your mental well-being is so important. And this is something we talk about in the group chat every Friday. I've gone through career transitions too, not by choice, and it's devastating. It can be a very emotionally draining for you and mentally draining. And you go through this roller coaster of emotions, anger and acceptance and fear and lack of confidence, and then happiness because you're not dealing with the stress of that job anymore. You just go through this roller coaster of things, and it can be very hard. And I love Jill. I just want to say thank you, Jill, for sharing that feedback with Emily. Great intro. For those of you folks that are watching, whether you're watching on Facebook or watching on LinkedIn, whether you're watching live or playback, please leave some feedback from the job seekers who are joining us in the session here today. Let folks know, if you heard their introduction, if you have any pointers for them and how they're introducing themselves. If you just want to give them words of advice and inspiration, encouragement, it's such a positive thing. And can really help everyone out. And I'm a big believer in paying it forward, social media karma, helping one another. So help the job seekers that are on here today by giving them advice and just leaving a comment below and just letting folks know that you're watching. When you comment, it actually broadcasts the video out to more people. So even by commenting, you could be helping one of these amazing people finding another position and job opportunity. So just leave a comment below and just say hi from city you're joining us from. That will broadcast this out to more people in your network to show with them. David, I think I saw something in comments. You wanted to add something as well.
Yeah, there's one thing that's really, really helped me is not only there's just the networking, but networking with people that I never would have thought I would have a connection with. So I'm a finance professional, and I've been talking with people in marketing, manufacturing, even IT. And as we're sharing stories on our process to find a new landing spot, we learn things from each other, which has been greatly helpful. And one of the other things I've been really doing now, since I had a little bit of time, is not necessarily just going down that very familiar path of what my experience has been over the last X number of years working at Ford and my other job, but it's also thinking about what may have been attractive to me a few years ago, and running those ideas down and saying, do I really have an interest, experience, and knowledge to do maybe a consulting gig, or maybe purchasing a franchise, or doing something like that. So I'm taking a lot of time to run those ideas down to either continue to pursue them or eliminate them from my purview altogether. So that's been very, very helpful. And now when I find that new landing spot, I won't always think, gosh, I really wish I would have investigated that opportunity a little bit more, because now I'm doing those things that I should have probably done maybe years ago. So that's been really, really helpful for me.
Good. So you've gotten a little bit of a pause to kind of reflect and look at where do you want to go next, which is important, because sometimes when we're head down in our business and our family and our life, we don't really think about, well, am I happy with this? And what do I want to do next? And where do I want to go next? So you've got a little bit of that pause and time to look at that. So great advice. Thank you so much, David. And David's just been such a positive person throughout. He's been on so many of the job seeker webinars, and I see him smiling and helping others in the sessions as well. And I just really want to thank all of you, because you're so positive. You're all just such an inspiration to one another. And I love seeing your faces every week. I always joke with people too, when we go in the Zoom call, I'm like, turn your video on so we can see you, because it's so often now when, we go out in public, everybody's wearing a mask and you can't see smiles and you can't see faces. But when we're on a Zoom call, we don't have to worry about germs, so we can kind of see each other's smiles and faces, and it's so refreshing to see. And I feel like we're building a community of support for one another, because our names and faces are becoming familiar. Every Friday, it's kind of like, how's my friend Vicky doing? How's Jessica doing? How's Greg doing? How's Episetti? Like, I feel like, I'm like, oh, I haven't seen David for a while. How's he doing? And I'll message people and they'll be like, oh, I've just been busy. I've actually picked up a part-time job, or things are kind of taking off. So it's nice to see. All right, guys, we're getting close to noon, so I want to start wrapping. Does anyone else have anything they would like to share that you have not yet offered? Anyone on the session here today that you'd like to share? Episetti, if you'd like, go ahead and unmute yourself. And then Vicky, we'll go next.
Yeah, I will also advise that job seekers also seek to improve their skills, because there are some free platform where everyone can learn new things. Like I know I use Excel, but I never tried to use Python. But I pick up Python skill of recent just during this COVID, and I tell you, it's interesting for me to know that I can use Python easily and advance with. It's an advancement of Excel. So for me, it's a plus. So don't think looking for opportunity is a dead zone for you. No, but pick up something you love to do and try and volunteer. I volunteer a lot, and it's just like a way of also improving on my skill, which is an additional an addition for me in the area of job seeking. So I can tell you, I can pick up a job as a data analyst now, Unlike before, I only think about customer service and executive assistant. But now I'm proud to say I'm a data analyst. So to an extent.
That's great. So yeah, so what I heard there too, Ebosetti, is she's been spending some time volunteering, picking up new skills, and keeping her skills current and adding new skills. I think that's a really great piece of advice for those that are job seeking. And I have to say, if you're looking to get just to get involved, there's so many great organizations out there, membership groups, professional organizations, boards who are looking for volunteer advisory members and things like that out there. Just start letting your network know, hey, while I'm in career transition, if you're aware of any membership organizations, chambers, groups that are looking for volunteers, and you could say in the area of, and let them know. Like I work in marketing, so I might say in the area of marketing and social media. David might say in the area of accounting and finance, and Vicky might say in the area of customer service or project management. Like let people know, because that kind of helps to plant the seed and reminds people what you're looking for, but also it helps you to kind of reach out to your communities to look for volunteer opportunities. All right, Vicky, we're going to wrap with you. You had one additional comment you'd like to make, and then we'll wrap before we leave here today.
Yeah, actually, you and Ebosetti, talked about what I was going to join in, is that look for different ways to certify yourself in between successes. I went and got my PMP certification, project management certification. So this is a great time to pick up new learnings. LinkedIn Learning has a great knowledge area to add to your skills. And also volunteer, like you said, working with your local charities or your nonprofits, and branching yourself out.
Great. Well, thank you so much. And I apologize. So I'm realizing here, as we have 10 frames, do you guys remember Home Improvement? You remember Wilson, who was like poking over the fence? So Julie and Ebosetti and Robert, you guys have to be like Wilson right now as I put the comments up. You can adjust your camera down a little bit. Did you notice when we had 10 people, the comments were nice and clean below? But when we have 9, it actually kind of truncates it and it covers half of your screen, unfortunately. So literally, Julie is like Wilson in Home Improvement right now, where it's kind of covering in the background in there. I've noticed too, like when I get someone with a really long comment, it goes longer, it cuts it off even higher in there. So the short comments seem to work best. So I so appreciate all of you guys for joining today. One, to share your stories and what you're looking for, and to share the advice with other job seekers. And 2, a little bit selfishly for me, because I wanted to try this out with 10 people to see how this platform works in StreamYard when we go into a live session. And you've helped me to learn a little bit along the way as well. So at this point, guys, I'm going to excuse the job seekers who've joined me today. So thank you guys so much for joining. I'm going to remove you one by one, and I'll just talk for another minute or so on live here. This will go, it's still on LinkedIn. So if you want to go into the LinkedIn stream right now, you can start to see the comments. But I just want to say thank you, Robert, Ebosetti, Julie, Vicky, Emily, Jessica, Greg, David, and Tiff. I think she lost her internet connection. I apologize. She wasn't able to stay on. But thank you guys. Have a great weekend. I'm going to start to take you off one by one here. I'm going to practice this feature too of removing folks from the stream, seeing how this feature works out. Look at this. It's one by one. Kind of a look at this. It's kind of like it makes the Brady Bunch grid, and then we go 2 by 2, and then we're down to 1. So that was it. So this is Brenda Meller with Meller Marketing. This was a little bit of a different edition of Social Media Pie. I normally bring on one guest, and we normally will talk about, I kind of say we're focusing on inspirational people who inform and educate you. And the folks I had on were just job seekers. These are individuals who are in career transition. They participated in my LinkedIn for Job Seekers webinar series. They come on my Friday calls with me as well. And we have a great time chatting, getting to know each other, supporting each other. And, they're sharing their success stories. I'm hearing many people coming out of the group now. They're not able to come to the Friday calls because they're getting interviews. They're getting job offers. They're back to work now. There are companies that are hiring out there. And if you're watching this video and if your company is hiring, please drop a comment below and let us know what you're seeking, because there might be a job seeker who is watching this video, possibly right now during this broadcast, or possibly in the playback, who is a perfect fit for what you're looking for. So let folks know if you are hiring. If you can drop the link in comments below to the job posting itself, that'd be great. But if not, just say, hey, I'm hiring, visit my company page, and they can look up that opportunity. All right, so I think that's it. I'm going to drop into the comments real quick before we leave here and see if there's any final questions or comments that had come in. Thank you so much for watching, Sharon. And we had Laura. Eric was watching from Kenya. Appreciate you watching us. We had Sherry watching us as well. Thank you guys so much. There's some folks I see like where it says LinkedIn user. It's because you have some privacy settings on your profile photo. I'm not sure who this was, but congratulations. Got a new job 3 weeks ago. I love seeing success stories like that. Donna is also part of our group. So thank you, Donna, for joining us as well. Joanne is a part of our group. Hey, Joanne, want to give you a shout out. We've had so many great comments. So whether you're watching this live or watching this in playback, after you're done watching today, click to share the video. Share it with someone in your network because you can help to broadcast this out to help these amazing job seekers to find new opportunities in the LinkedIn network. So please click to share the video and help them out. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap now. I'm going to go back into the green room and welcome my job seekers back, but I'm going to wrap the live broadcast at this point. Stay safe, stay healthy, have a great weekend, and we'll see you again next week on LinkedIn Live. Take care. Thank you.